Okay, welcome or welcome back. Today I'm so excited because I'm finally getting into some seed starting. I have picked out a couple different varieties that I will tell you shortly, and we're going to do some started indoors in seed trays, and we're going to do some in a winter sowing method. So, to kick this off, I'll say two of the things that the first thing that I've been really thinking about that I need to start sooner rather than later if I want to have in my garden is onions. I've seen pretty much everywhere that you have to start your onions super early, like in January, or I saw one person who said they start theirs in December. I just can't imagine having to keep seedlings alive from December until May. I just can't fathom it. But these two seed packets say that they can be sown 10 to 12 weeks before your average last frost date indoors and then transplanted outside. So that is what I intend to do. I've got the red Amposta, that's how you say it, onion, which is an intermediate date onion, and I have the Walla Walla onion, which is a long day onion, and they both are between 100. So this is 115 days to maturity, this is 125. So it's going to take a long time. And I better get them sowing sooner rather than later. So, onions. A couple herbs. I've got oregano, basil, chives. I've got some arugula here, which I might do as a winter sown vegetable and also started in a seed tray. I tried to start some in my little kitchen herb garden that I showed a couple weeks ago, and it is not doing very well, so we're going to try that one again. Some celery. Not a whole lot of seeds in here, but I did find another packet of celery if I need it. Then we'll start some Brussels sprouts and some cauliflower. I wish I had broccoli, but I probably will struggle with doing this many brassicas, so we'll just see where we go with this. Okay, so those are the ones I'm going to start indoors. And then for my outdoor ones, I'm going to do arugula, and then I have a foxglove beard tongue that I'm going to start in the winter sowing jugs. It's a native flower, very pretty flower. Partridge key, is cut plant, and some chamomile, because I thought it would be nice to have some chamomile to make tea. So a couple flowers, some lettuces, or greenery brassicas, and that is what I'm hoping to sow today. So I better get started soon before I run out of time. Let's plan out how we're gonna space these really quickly. I think like one little 6 cell per plant should do it. And then maybe the last 5 can be onion, like that. That's sort of what I'm thinking. Okay, time to mix some soil. To prepare my seed starting soil, I'm getting a bag of organic potting mix. This is a lot cheaper to use as the base for my seed starting mix than something specifically sold as a seed starting mix. This was about $10 for the whole bag, which I think is a cubic yard, versus 15 or whatever amount of dollars for a tiny bag of seed starting soil. The main difference between a regular container potting mix and seed starting soil
is usually that it's more finely sifted. So what I'm doing is I'm going through looking for any big chunks of wood chips or any large pieces, breaking them up, taking the large pieces of wood chips out because those bigger pieces will not be as friendly to the tiny plant roots. Here you can see I'm also adding some vermiculite. This is just going to help make my soil light and fluffy and also help to have good drainage and retain a little bit of moisture. Once your soil is well mixed together, it is time to go in the seed trays. One of the things that you don't see me do here is add water to the soil. Typically you want to pre-moisten your soil so that it is damp enough that if you squeezed a handful of it, it would stay together, but not so wet that water would be dripping from it. The reason that we do that is that once we put our tiny little seeds into our seed trays, we don't want to risk washing them away with top watering them or a big stream of water from our watering can. So you want to put them in soil that is already damp. Most seeds need that damp soil in order to germinate, and then you want to very lightly water them, usually with like a mister or a spray bottle on top, until those seedlings start to emerge, and then you can begin watering them with your watering can. Next, I'm pressing the soil into the seed trays. You'll see that I'm tapping the sides or pressing the soil down to make sure that we're really getting a good compression of the soil into the seed cells. You don't want there to be any large air pockets or holes, because these are spaces where the roots of your tiny plants could it just would be bad. You really don't want any air pockets or holes, because that's a place where bacteria or other diseases, extra pockets of water damping off could happen. So you just want your soil tightly packed into your seed trays.
I'm just going to fill all of my containers first, and then I will add the seeds. Okay, now it's the best part. Time for sowing the seeds.
So here I'm using my Sharpie marker to make just a little divot or a hole on the top of each seed cell to be the place where I will put the seeds. You could also use your finger, you could use a pencil. They make special tools to do this, but I'm not sure why you would spend money on that. Ideally, you just want to make a very small depression in the soil, because for each seed, you want to plant it only about the depth that the seed is wide. So for most of these seeds, we really won't cover them at all. We'll just press them into the soil and maybe put a little bit of vermiculite on top, something that will allow the light to get through. Because for some seeds, they actually need light to germinate. Some seeds need darkness to germinate, like carrots, but a lot of other things need light to germinate. So we're going to plant them almost surface sown, just barely cover them up. And I'm putting about 2 or 3 seeds per each hole, each seed cell. For a lot of things, you could choose to put 1 seed per seed cell and then not have to thin later, but I am really focused on only having 1 tray of seedlings under my grow lights and not having a really elaborate setup that I have to take care of for months. So I'm trying to get as many plants in as small space as possible to keep my seed starting less complicated and to not have to spend as much money on a seed starting setup. I'm trying to do this whole seed starting experience without spending any money. So I'm just using whatever lights I already have, whatever seeds I already have, whatever trays that I bought in previous years. So I'm not spending any extra money. I'm really trying to stick to my budget and see what I can do, challenge myself to be creative, to see what I can do with the things that I already have. So that is the reason why I am essentially not buying anything for this project. I may buy more seeds later or some seedlings if these seeds don't germinate. Since they are last year's or previous year's seeds, they may not have great germination. But I just wanted to inspire and show you that you don't necessarily need to go out and buy all new stuff every single year for seed starting. If you have the basics, if you have some jugs to winter sow, or if you have some seed starting cells from last year and a whole bunch of old seeds, just see what you can do with what you already have. Just start with those things before you go out and buy anything new.
Basil. And this is why you pull out your wood chips, because sometimes you gotta dig down and you can't get past something. Imagine your little baby plant is probably not gonna be able to get past that either. Actually, it might be just enough seed because these celery seeds are really small, so I was able to put like 5 seeds in each hole. Okay.
Alright, let's do some movie magic here. I planted the rest of the seeds basically the same way. Planted them not very deep, created a small hole with my pen, put 2, 3, 4, 5 seeds in each hole, and then until I label them, I like to keep the seed packet on top of the tray just so I remember what it is, and that's pretty much the whole thing.
much as I think seed starting is like super fun, I'm trying to be a little bit more chill about it this year, and not, get so bogged down and trying to do it perfectly or be mad if my seedlings don't make it. I'm just sort of like, whatever, we're just doing this to have fun and hopefully grow some food, and if we produce things that we can eat. I learned recently in the last year or two that all of these things in the brassica family, so Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, broccoli, kale, are all from the same plant. And it is incredible that even though cauliflower looks so different than a Brussels sprout, the part that we eat, the leaves obviously look similar. The seeds look exactly the same. So, I thought that was just absolutely wild. And these look beautiful. I'm gonna flip my tray around and do the last three.
I believe the last 3 seeds that I'm sowing here are all herbs. I started oregano, which was a super tiny seed, basil, and chives to get started on my herb garden. So those were all super, super tiny. For most of them, I ended up not even using the holes. I just sort of filled in the holes and pressed them into the surface of the soil because the seeds were so small.
Alright. Let me find something to label these with. I'll be right back.
Alright, getting cleaned up now, and I am watering my seeds in with a spray bottle, just a light mist over the top of all the seedlings, and you'll see that my seed starting setup is just a couple of grow lights on a small wire shelf. This is the seed starting setup that I created last year, and I can link to that video if you're interested in it, how I was able to create a seedling grow room for less than $50 or less than $100. I forget what it was called, but I got the grow lights from someone on Marketplace as well as the shelf. This is the lettuce that we started together a few weeks ago. It's looking amazing. It's almost ready to pick. And that's pretty much all I'm planning to do for seed starting, at least until these seedlings are ready to go outside into the garden. And this is the kale we started together. I hope you can forgive that I never did get to winter sowing this day. Got busy with other things in life, and if you are interested in learning winter sowing, I did an entire tutorial video on how to winter sow for native wildflowers, and I can link that in the cards below so that you can see what that method looks like of seed starting. I hope that this inspires you to get started on your spring garden and pull some of the things out from your seed starting from last year to see what you can use. I appreciate you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.